made it to Friday. Hallelujah. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm so glad that my girl pals sporting event was canceled last night because I was so exhausted. When I initially texted her, I'm like, oh, let me know if your game is still on, like around 4 o'clock. And then by the time I got 7 o'clock, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am exhausted. Do not want to go anywhere. Do I want to support? Yes. Is she amazing? Yes. Is she great to Jared? Yes. Do I love her? Yes. Do I look at her like family? Yes. But truth be told, I was exhausted. She texted me, I think it was about 7:15. No. I think it was a little bit right at 7, maybe, or like 7:02-ish, and said the game was canceled. It wasn't even raining, but I guess by looking at the forecast, they thought it was going to rain. Honey, I don't care what the excuse was. I was just so elated. Oh my gosh, yeah. Jared Coleman. This boy brings out the best in the, I don't want to say words because it's not like that, but just the whole, you have to repeat your things to kids 29 times, and why did you do this, and stop this, and don't do that, and all that type of stuff. Can I go this way? Let's see. I guess I'm going to today. And I was talking to, please don't go out, sir. Okay. Talking to my guy pal. What is this world like coming to? Wait, before I get into that, I'm elated that they are taking down the Confederate flag in South Carolina. Growing up, I never understood. It was like an oxymoronic moment for me. You would go into different state and federal buildings and you would see the American flag, which is the only flag that I feel should be there. I'm like, why is the Confederate flag flying? Like, we all know what that flag represented. That was the South. You know, the South wanted slavery, so they created their own flag. Because when we was going through the Civil War, when it looked like, okay, we was already divided, and we literally may be two different entities, let's make our own flag to show our separation. We want slavery, the South wanted slavery, the North didn't. So even though they lost, and they still kind of like hung on to the flag, it's like, you're mad that you lost, but you still have your views, and this is what you believe. To me, that's what it represented. And for those who don't get it, the swastika flag that what the Germans used to separate their own entity and beliefs is why a Jewish person would be offended. So why people do not understand what the Confederate flag means to African Americans, they know, they just choose to ignore it. And I pray, just like the whole what is it, gay right movement, that's everywhere and it spread everywhere, I hope the same occurs with the Confederate flag. It started in South Carolina and let it just go throughout the rest of the states. Take it down. The only flag should be there. If that's the case, you know, there should be Latino flags. Well, I understand you're getting into nationalities now, but it's the same concept. You know, or how about the Star of David? Put up a Judaism flag. Yes, that's a religion, but that's how Southerners feel that their Confederate flag is supposed to be represented, is symbolic to what they believe. So it's the same concept. It just doesn't make any sense. Just even as I'm talking about it, like, I sound like I'm babbling, so why doesn't it seem babblish to people who still have the Confederate flag up? But how about this? the county, state, and federal buildings that actually have the flag up, that's showing you whoever allowed it, basically, that's what they believe too. And if they don't pull it down willingly, again, it's showing you, honey, I couldn't live in the South. I couldn't. Seriously. I even told my father, we would crack jokes because, again, my dad in a dress. We would talk about slavery and the different things he went through and witnessed. And he passed when he was 76. So you figure he's been through a lot. I mean, it's so crazy. Like when movies like The Help came out and The Butler, my mom wouldn't go see it with me. And I didn't realize, well, I mean, of course, your parents don't share everything with you. But as far as, slavery, or not just slavery, I'm sorry, because during that era it was just more so like the civil rights movement with her, which is still just as horrific. But when The Help came out and I asked her if she wanted to go see it, that is the first time in my 42 years, I think I was 40 when The Help came out, or 39, but that was the first time I've ever seen my mother kind of like cock her head, like the whole facial expression, like, she's like, no, why would I want to go see The Help? I said, because it's history. And she's like, history? I've lived it. Your grandmom was The Help. I lived it. And like, she just got real, you just felt like this cold aura in the room. I'm like, okay. So there's a lot of more things that I didn't know about, but it made me mad though. Mad, like I was hurt that my mom, just even talking about seeing a movie, it bothered her. I was like, shoo, okay. And this is years later, and that's still her response, talking about just going to see a movie. That means not only she experienced a lot of negative things, so did her mother, and she witnessed it. I remember she told me that she had teachers in her class that told her she'd never amount to anything, and I'm just like, oh my God, this place we call America, honey, insane. But my mother and my father were from the South, and that's why a lot of people migrated to the North. And I'm like, what is it about the North that our views were different than the South? Yeah, maybe that's what I'll look up and see. That'll be my project today. Because it's not like there's nobody in the North who didn't believe in slavery. It just didn't take over. And then too, when they said North, yes, they were talking about the northern part of the United States, but also mainly Canada. There's a lot of African Americans in Canada. Here I go talking about history, politics, here I go, which has nothing to do with why I even started the video. But that's my passion. Alright, Yins. Okay, talk to you later. Since I'm like way totally off subject anyway. But research your history. Research your history. This stuff is important,